This woman lives in a joke.
Yeah.
I worked at a costume shop. A woman came in and said, hey, my uncle died. Do you want to buy some of his clothes? And then I said, well, what does he do? And then whatever she said's clearly the punchline.
I mean, it was, I suppose it was a bit weird. We'd already had, there was an issue at the back. There was some sort of race-related issue. There was an Irishman, an Englishman, and a Scottish person. And it was like...
All right.
My sister showed me the Blair Witch Project 3 years ago, having not watched a horror film in 20 years, and I thought I thought my heart was going to implode.
But it's all
Tony
in
Blair's
just,
not in this at all.
Oh, what? Yeah.
It's all just in the tension, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's just never, ever, ever resolved.
There's no
in many
relief.
ways, much like comedy. My comedy.
Yeah.
All setups, no punchline. Are we going?
Yeah.
Okay, as I was saying, this Halloween, I have 3 outings.
Okay.
My first outfit is Shania Twain, Canadian Excellence.
Okay,
Obviously, it's not, the costume wasn't called Shania.
Shania Twain.
Woo! What's spookier than a woman over 40, am I right?
What's spookier than Lyme disease? It makes you lethargic.
That is kind of scary.
In
it is.
the packaging, because of obviously rights issues, it was 90s country pop star, not Shania Twain.
Okay.
Then the next
Does
day,
it telegraph that she's Canadian in the 90s country pop star from Canada?
That's a subsection. Canadian, American, German, inexplicably. Yeah.
Confusing the copyright people by having Shania Twain, but with like the Mark Twain mustache and like the old country uniform.
Are you gonna sing like some Shania Twain songs?
No, I'm gonna do stand-up comedy in the end.
Oh right, okay, sure.
Yeah, so it's just not gonna
Right.
be addressed at any point.
Okay. Oh, but wait, isn't a 90s country music star? Isn't that just kind of a normal outfit?
No, because it's the specific one, the leopard one from the Don't Impress Me Much music video. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where she's on the side of the highway?
Leotard with it.
Yeah.
Does it have a tail on it, or am I making that up? Am I gestalting the tail?
Okay.
The Mandela effect of the tail?
You own this exact outfit, don't
Yeah.
you? You have it already.
Oh, like you don't think I need to buy it separately?
Yeah, I think you already own it.
I mean, it is just full leopard. It is
It's just
something that I would wear in daily life.
It's just a leopard print outfit.
Okay, but it's gorgeous. It's got a hood. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I do.
I think that's why I'm thinking that it has a tail, because it has the hood as though it's like a full morph
Yeah,
suit.
because a leopard has a hood, famously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, no, but so it's to make your whole head look like a leopard's head.
Oh, I see.
That's why it feels more like a costume than an outfit when you add the hood.
Okay.
Apparently, my father-in-law, I don't know if I should say this on a podcast, but
That's a great start.
Shania Twain is the only woman that he's ever overtly fancied in front of
So
his
is she
family.
like on the hall pass list?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I wouldn't want to make that claim. But apparently, like, everyone goes, oh, there's your girlfriend. And he was apparently very transfixed in the 90s.
She's a sexy lady.
She certainly is, yeah. And she's from Quarry, right?
She's from a quarry?
She's from a
ask the
Quarry.
Canadian
Where
guy.
are you from in Canada?
Oh, I'm from Ontario.
Whereabouts?
Niagara on the Lake.
Oh, beautiful.
It's a wine
Yeah.
region.
I've been.
Which
Oh, yeah, his girlfriend's Canadian. Sorry, wife. Jesus.
Respect.
yeah.
But she's from
the daughter of the guy who likes Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's from, is it Timmins? What's the name of the town she's from? Somewhere really far north, which is only a quarry. And they built a Shania Twain museum.
Yeah, she's from Timmins.
Next to the quarry.
It's sponsored by Tim Hortons. That's the only way they can fund the town.
They built a Shania Twain centre in her town. So it's just this and a
we
quarry.
gotta go.
So there you go.
Oh,
what
we
a great
gotta
holiday.
go.
Next to the quarry.
That sounds amazing. Is it his and hers?
Yeah, exactly.
The Shania Twain Center has a door that goes out to the quarry.
Yeah.
In case you want to do some quarrying.
Well, you can
Oh, you're a rock quarry? That don't impress me.
going around the Shania Twain Centre, coming to the conclusion that I will never wear leopard print as well as Shania Twain, and then throwing myself into the quarry.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's great. So that's one.
That's one.
Okay.
My second outfit is a couple's costume with my boyfriend Ewan. He's famously a redhead, so he's Chucky. I'm Tiffany.
Woo?
Chucky and Tiffany.
Yeah, from Bride of Chucky.
Oh.
I'm too scared to watch horror movies.
So it's a toy. It's a toy boy, and much like you and
Actually, one of my big phobias is toys coming alive and attacking me. What if all my toys got in a Chucky scenario, you would be so safe because you live in the world's most like German minimal house.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you'd be in much more danger from like a curse where like vintage bottles of wine come alive and start murdering people, or like oil paintings come alive and start murdering people.
Most of the art that's in my house is like quite abstract and contemporary. So what would happen would just like some colors just sort of emerge.
Yeah, but if there's anything
You're getting
cubist,
attacked
it'd be
by
quite
Russian
sharp,
salad.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, there's there's one
Getting stabbed with
there's
a
a
Picasso.
scary faceless lady in one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
unsettling.
You know the one.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
Mm.
I have a name.
Boo.
So
I have a name.
Mm.
So we're
It's going to be released in late November.
I hate
Okay,
this
well, we're
Have you
doing
even
it.
passive.
told people that it's Halloween? Have
Well-
you ever, or you just, there's an
This is
episode in the
August.
middle of nowhere where you all
All
go,
of August
ooh, I'm
costumes.
dressing as Shania Twain.
My late November costume.
This is Olga's late November costume.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's fun because once this
For
comes out,
Remembrance Day.
they can go on my Instagram and see all the outfits. That would be fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
When you said, sorry to interrupt, when you
No,
said
no.
your boyfriend was redhead and he's going as Chucky,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you were going as Angelica and it was a Rugrats outfit.
Oh my god, Chuckies are systematically redheads.
They're all
Fuck,
redheads.
what the
Yeah.
hell? So we're Chucky and Tiffany. The only thing is both of them have like evil eyebrows. The deal breaker between a scary toy and a normal toy is the evil eyebrows. So we're gonna have to glue them down with glue like drag queens and then draw new ones over. That's
Okay.
exciting. And then my third one is a cheerleader, and the cheerleading outfit says "Daddy" on it.
Okay, yeah, I've seen this.
You've seen this. It comes out every couple of years.
Do you feel as a young woman,
I'm 32.
as a old hag?
As Shania Twain in her prime.
No, but
Yeah.
you as a younger woman, certainly reared on Halloween. Not reared.
Reared on Halloween.
Reared on Halloween. Sorry, that sentence ended earlier than it should have done.
We're getting reared on Halloween.
Reared on like Halloween
On all
culture.
Hallows
Or
Eve.
what are you
through.
suggesting essentially is that she was left as a feral child to fend for herself, except for Halloween, the only day any rearing took place.
I'm just wearing this Shania Twain outfit, trying to get reared on Halloween. But it seems
I'd say so far this is a 1 out of 10 sentence from me, but it is going somewhere. What do you feel like? Do you feel a pressure costume wise in terms of like, because do you feel like your costumes have to be like attractive, or do you feel they have to be like, is there a certain type that you go for about Halloween?
If I'm being completely honest, okay, this is a twofold answer, and I want to answer it to you seriously. First of all, I think the pressure doesn't come from being a gorgeous woman. I think the pressure comes from being a comedian, and people want you to be funny.
Okay.
And people want you to have a clever costume. So I feel like, if anything, going for these obvious choices, and those three are quite obvious, is a sort of like, I'm not playing the clever game. Because there's
Okay.
people doing pun costumes, people doing like this niche reference to a news story that like came out 6 months ago and was like very popular in like a subculture of the internet. I can't play that game. I
Yeah.
can't do a clever costume. That's too much pressure.
yeah.
So I'd say that's number one. And number two, I go to such great lengths to obtain these costumes that I need to rewear them all the time. So two of the three costumes I have worn before, because
Sure.
I'm not dropping a shit ton of money and finding a Shania Twain costume that I had to send to my friend in America because it wouldn't deliver here directly to wear it one time. You know what I mean? I'm going to wear it loads of times.
I like the idea of the fundamental elements of the Shania Twain costume being that rare that you had to acquire them, like the lengths some people go
I
to for
found it
like
on
very extreme
partycity.com.
pornography.
I genuinely found it only available in one warehouse in Canada, and they would only ship to the continental United States.
Partycity.com.
No. A specific Party City warehouse in Canada. It was like probably .ca
Yeah, it's in
or
a disused
whatever.
quarry.
Partycity.ca. I bet their office is the saddest place. I work for partycity.ca. They're
We
sat
only
in-
do the Canadian outfit.
Yeah, there's sat in Saskatoon with 400 fucking Shreks. And
No, Shrek wouldn't be Canadian.
well,
Would
his
it?
voice was. I was trying to think
Oh,
of a Mike
true.
Myers.
So true. So
yeah.
Austin Powers, they I guess get have a
Yeah,
claim
they all
on.
count. They claim all of it. They claim the Riddler.
Shagadelic, baby.
So wait, partycity.ca is the costumes that are based on actors portrayed by Canadians.
Yeah.
Anything
Uh-huh.
remotely Canadian.
So, like, if you wanted
it's
to
next
dress
to the
up as,
Austin
like-
Powers Center, which is next to the coal mine.
Deadpool would be.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, honestly, quite a good range.
Pretty good, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So wait, so if you wanted to go as like the Wolverine and Deadpool, you'd have to go to partycity.au and partycity.ca.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to go as the villain who's portrayed by Emma Corrin, you need to go to partycity.co.uk.
Correct. Yes, you get.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
I see.
No,
I see now what you're
Well, it's
proposing.
checks and balances.
you're
No one
propos-
can have all the costumes.
You're proposing a kind of costume mercantilism, where sort of the strength of an overall country is sort of determined by how many costumes it can capture. But there's an international, like, is there some sort of treaty organization that prevents Canada from like making an Emma Corrin costume?
Tariff-free trade in the costume business
I
is
saw
the dream.
Steve Bray carrying that sign outside Parliament, actually.
Well, that's why the Canadians are so protectionist. You know, NAFTA destroyed the Indigenous Canadian costume business.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they've had to, you know, come up with these methods of, you know, making people buy a Bryan Adams costume. Sure, it's mostly jeans. Sure, you can get them from any store. But,
They are getting ripped off in NAFTA. Everyone in Canada can dress like a Mexican, but no one in Mexico City is dressing like Nickelback. And that is an issue. There is an imbalance there. There is an imbalance.
However, in Saudi, there's a lot of dressing like Nickelback going on. Interestingly, there's a bilateral trade agreement.
It was actually one Mexican
weirdly,
guy dressed as Chad Kroger on Halloween.
But weirdly, the Saudi thing it was an addendum to more of a Tar Sands deal. I think it was a sweetener to the Timmins constituency.
The mechanics of that are probably funny.
It's like decoding linear A. Like we understand that something is being communicated. We're not sure what it is.
What are you guys dressing up as anything for Halloween?
Probably someone who's had 2 or 3 drinks.
Wow.
Bada boom.
But you're going to be sober, and that's going to be the spooky part.
Yeah, that's the costume.
You're just going to look at, like, your tie will be slightly loose.
Yeah, we wearing a tie.
Yeah. But you got to put on a tie in order to loosen it, so people know.
Put on and loosen a tie.
Yeah.
And then eventually my, All Souls Day costume might be a guy who's had 4 to 5 drinks, so I'll put the tie on my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. The
Japanese
international
guy who's
sign.
had 4 to 5 drinks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
John
absolutely.
Milo?
I will not be dressing up, no. And I say that as someone who apparently there is a Halloween party happening in my flat tonight that my wife organised.
Oh.
And
You
I
made
said,
it sound like it was organised by neither of you. You know, like it's just occurring.
apparently the council is putting on a Halloween party in my
For
flat.
the bin men.
Yeah, for all the bin men are coming round.
I'll say that one of my favorite bits of your stand-up involves a full-body Garfield suit.
Yes.
And I'm truly surprised that you don't own one or haven't been sent one by a fan.
I'm going to tell you something now, Olga.
Play it, please.
I used to work in a fancy dress shop.
Oh my God, not partycity.ca.
Partycity.ca is the reason I do not work in that fancy dress shop anymore because you put us out of business.
It was my job to copy all of Shania Twain's outfits.
But it was,
You were there on exchange.
I cannot be involved in fancy dress anymore. It just completely ruins the magic of fancy dress once you've peeked behind the curtain.
Okay, what have you
It's
seen?
like if you work in a battery farm, you only eggs anymore. Like you're that, but you've seen the inhumanity that goes into
the
Halloween
abattoir
costumes.
that is Party City.
Exactly.
Just slaughtering Shania Twain with a bolt gun in order to take her clothes, and they're like, couldn't we just make copies of the clothes? And someone's like, shut up.
Oh, so you know better.
Or I'll make a costume of you.
Wearing Shania Twain's skin as a Halloween costume.
Yeah,
The most
weirdly,
unethical
if you
Halloween.
do that, that's 2 costumes. That's
Buffalo Bill as well.
Buffalo Bill and Shania Twain.
Yeah, there you go. He loved Shania Twain, Buffalo Bill.
I only recently watched that movie. It's really good.
It's a great movie.
I'll say that a young Jodie Foster looks exactly like Emma Corrin.
Okay.
Just a fun observation for
Just
you.
flagging that.
What I also enjoyed about Silence of the Lambs is that there's one serial killer that everyone's like, we gotta catch this guy, he sucks. And then the other serial killer, you're like, I wish this guy was free. He seems cool. Even though
Yeah, he's like a
they're equally
cultured
bad.
serial killer. Yeah, he's one of the good ones. So what fucked you up about the costume store?
Well, I mean, it was the problem was it was I was in 6th form and it was my Saturday job and my Wednesday evening job was I worked in a fancy dress shop. But the woman who owned the fancy dress shop was having a genuine breakdown, and I was the only employee, and the shop was only open on Saturdays. So I basically
What were you doing on the Wednesday?
and the Wednesday evening I was open.
It was only open 2 days a week.
It was open 2 days a week, and I was effectively, at the age of 17, the manager, CEO of a failing fancy dress shop. And I genuinely find it such a traumatic memory because I would have people running into the shop on a Saturday going, I've been calling you all week trying to get my deposit back for the costume, trying to get their money back. And I'd be like, there is no money in this till. I cannot give you any money. I was like 17. I was in the complaints department. I was everything.
Oh, boy.
It was really shocking. But I'd also actually worked for one before. There's a funny theme here.
Wait, both costume shops?
I'd worked in another costume shop before. Yeah.
This is like a family, like your dad's like, you're right, well, you're going to work in a bloody costume shop like your old man. Listen, we've got a family. None of this stand-up comedy business. You're going to get a proper job like fancy dress costume shop owner.
I worked at the other one. It was just work experience. So I was 15.
And so then
this kid, he needs to find out about the real world, right? We've got to prepare him for the workplace. Yeah. Listen, son, you're in year 10, you're going to spend 2 weeks down the local fancy
That is exactly how it was.
Wait, and then
I
you
wish
had
I
a
was
CV
joking.
with one job on it, which was fancy dress, so then you were only qualified to work at other fancy dress shops.
It's a pyramid scheme. It's a snowball effect.
I say this is the real problem with the fancy dress industry is that the only way to get a job in the industry is to have experience in the industry. And the only people who can get experience in the industry, in the fancy dress industry for free, are people who have like parental connection.
Well, exactly. People are desperate to get into this game, but you have to work unpaid for 2 weeks when you're doing your GCSEs, and it's really tough.
Yeah.
But I went in there, and I'll tell you this: here's the first thing the people said to me in the main fancy dress shop that wasn't failing. They said, "Look, when someone brings back a wig, smell it. If there's no cigarettes in there, just put it back on the shelf." That's what they said. So don't ever get a wig from a fancy dress shop. That's what I'd say.
I like that you worked for the one that wasn't failing, so that they brought you to the failing one as a turnaround artist. They were like, we got a guy who's going to do sabermetrics. we got.
I was the Billy Bean of hire costume insurance by saying. I was the Billy Bean. Yeah, I really was.
Ramsey's costume nightmares. For fuck's sake! The wig smells of fucking cigarette smoke. I'm going to be sick.
Right, I would have put this Napoleon outfit on my fucking dog.
That's not even a French jacket. That's a Prussian uniform. Send it back.
I remember when one of my Saturdays I was working there. A woman. All of these stories are genuinely like suppressed memories.
Okay,
I don't even know if they're
I'm
interesting.
glad we tapped in.
But therapy cast.
A woman came in and went, "You're a costume shop, right?" And she went, I went, "Yeah."
Was she a character in a joke setup? Like,
honestly, you wait. She went, "Who's in charge?" And I went,
"Which end of this pantomime horse is in charge?"
I guess I am.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, my uncle just died.
Oh, no.
So do you want to buy some of his clothes? They might be good for you." And I went, well, what have you got?
Oh my God, you did not!
Well, I didn't know what to do. I had no training. I was thrown into the deep end.
Sorry, I have to say again.
Yeah.
This woman lives in a joke.
Yeah.
I worked at a costume shop. A woman came in and said, "Hey, my uncle died. Do you want to buy some of his clothes?" And then I said, "Well, what does he do?" And then whatever she said's clearly the punchline.
I mean, it was, I suppose it was a bit weird. We'd already had, there was an issue at the back. There was some sort of race-related issue. There was an Irishman, an Englishman, and a Scottish person. And it was like, they were having some sort of argument at the back. There was a genie involved. I couldn't really remember it. But
you'd never guess as well. The synagogue, the Catholic Church, and the Anglican Church all got out at the same time.
They all got out at the same time.
So the horse wandered in.
So the woman, the first thing she threw down
to the rabbi.
The first thing she threw down. This is not an exaggeration. Was a dead fox.
Well,
Wait,
not
so she
taxidermy.
Just
I think it had been broadly. I think it felt like the uncle had personally found a fox and went, "I'm going to make this into a scarf." And I said, I don't know what costume this is.
Robin Hood.
that was your issue with the dead fox.
Yeah, exactly. So, there was a lot. It was a lot of adventures, a lot of misadventures.
Can I ask
what else did she bring?
She just bought lots of real fur, basically. Lots of real fur
that her uncle used to wear.
That apparently her uncle used to wear.
Was her uncle like a drag queen?
Yeah.
My uncle, Elton John.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Okay, my assumption is that lots of people, and I think you already touched up on this, lots of people who buy costumes at costume stores want to immediately return them after they wear them, right? Like it's a sort of buy them for Halloween, return them in the beginning of November. Is there a policy on that?
Mine was a rental place.
Oh, okay.
But you could purchase, Smiffys, the company Smiffys. They dominate the sort of packaged outfit.
Yeah.
So I wonder if partycentral.ca, I reckon Smiffys they've got their fingerprints all over.
I assume so.
I, as a 17, 18-year-old, I'd be calling up Smiffy's head office a lot.
And say, more Union Jack dresses. More Union Jack dresses.
Yeah.
We've run out of fucking skeletons. Do you understand me? It's October 20th and we're out of skeletons. I don't care if the ship's stuck in the harbour. You've got to get your finger out your arse.
Okay, we're on Smiffys.com. Let's go.
Okay. I'm seeing what's their sale.
I can genuinely, even just hearing the name Smiffys, I can just smell I could just smell
The
that
flammable
shop.
sort of-
Yeah,
God.
polyurethane.
Oh, just a Welsh flag. I like that. It's on sale.
Yeah, can I dress as a
Ugh.
Welsh flag? You
Yeah.
certainly can.
What's scarier than being Welsh?
Guys, all the Welsh stuff is on sale.
We're
I'm
gonna
not gonna
close
lie.
the mines.
What a Thatcher costume. That would be fun. The Welshman costume, and then your friend goes as Thatcher,
Yeah.
and then you pretend to bump into each other and just get into a
does that
fist
mean?
fight.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You could have a whole thing. You could have Major. You could have.
Kind of an idiot.
Yeah, you could have everyone.
Yeah, I think that would.
I was trying to think of anyone else in the Thatcher administration.
Coming in my Michael Heseltine costume. No one gets it.
We had two
No.
good costumes. We only had we did have an amazing Napoleon, and we had
Yeah,
a
yeah.
really good Sergeant Pepper's.
Would,
And the rest
would,
of
peop-
it,
would people come in and be like, I got to get the Napoleon before, like, Deborah from my work comes in?
there'll be a rush.
there's
Yeah.
a there's- I hear the
She
Napoleon's
loves
back.
Napoleon.
Yeah.
She's
You know-
always going on
Hey,
about
you guys got Napoleon back? Sorry, kid. Because also, you got to remember, I am doing my A levels at the time.
Yeah.
I'm in class, and
Uh-huh.
people are going, "You okay?" I go, "Well, all right. I've got a freaking business to run here. I've got a business to run.
I got 3 dead foxes in the back.
I got 3 dead foxes in the back. I got all these jokers knocking around.
Uh-huh.
I don't care about quadratic equations. I've got to hit the bottom line.
I've got 9 people who all think it's their go with the Napoleon.
It was honestly and genuinely. I remember a friend's dad came in once.
Right.
This is
Expecting special treatment, I assume.
very
Yeah.
much so. He went. She was having a birthday party. Pirates, wenches, creatures of the deep.
And Napoleon.
That was the theme.
Wait,
That was the
I
thing.
feel like pirates and wenches, I sort of see the connection,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
creatures of the deep feels like a different theme entirely.
Well, I guess
Creatures
it's
of
the
deep.
Kraken.
That's kind of what we are. Creatures of the deep.
the Marianas Trench of like the fish with the light again. Yeah.
And her dad came in,
That'd be an easy cost.
and they were nice people. But he said to a sixth former who was on his own running a shop. And keep in mind, you know the theme of the party. And I'm going to say a word now that I know is not acceptable, but this is the story.
Okay.
He said, we say, oh, so it's pirates, wenches, creatures of the deep. What do you want to go as? He goes, I want to be a Chinaman. That's what he said to me. And I said, genuinely, which is the truth, which is, I don't know what that is. I don't know. I'd never heard that phrase.
How
And
does
then he
that fit in with the theme?
And he explained it
Also-
to me, and I went, what are you talking about?
Famously, the Imperial Chinese Navy was like sunk by the emperor of God. Which dynasty
Famously,
was it?
By a
Indeed.
wench.
Yeah, the Kraken. I want to be the one that the Kraken killed.
Okay,
so that
look,
was
if I can't be Chinese, I'll just be Napoleon. I'll settle for Napoleon.
Yeah, he just wanted, but like to come in and use it was such a strange, sad time in my life.
What
And it
costume
really
did he leave with?
Sergeant Pepper, the only good one we had left. I mean, of course, but it was a very sad.
At least that's on theme.
Pirate, Sergeant, ship, hello.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know a fun Napoleon fact?
Okay.
Yes, please.
So when he stole a bunch of Italian art to put in the Louvre, he took the Mona Lisa and he hung it above his bed.
No way.
Isn't that
So we could, like-
crazy to fuck under the Mona Lisa or jerk it to Mona Lisa?
What a flex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
That is a flex.
Fun fact for you.
Yeah. So he could
Enjoy
stand
it.
on the bed.
How
part of
long
the
was it
costume.
there for? Was it there until his death?
I
or
have
until his
no
ousting?
idea. I have please no follow up question.
Look,
Sure.
what we know about Napoleon: number 1, makes a great costume now.
Yes.
Number 2, moved around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Lived
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was a millennial.
Uh-huh.
He's renting moving every year.
Yeah, maybe if you didn't spend so much money on avocados, you would have taken Russia.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
what I'm
Yep.
saying.
That's
Yeah.
why he had to eventually put the Mona Lisa in the Louvre, because he was like, I can't keep hauling this thing from one bedroom flat to one bedroom flat.
Addison Lee are onto my scam, using their cars to move.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa to him was like a Pulp Fiction poster. A men's bedroom. You know, you walk in, there's a Mona Lisa over the bed.
Blue tacked onto the wall.
It's not even framed.
Yeah.
Mad that.
Universities, your halls are like, hey, no blue tack. And it's like, oh, how am I going to put up this like painting by Leonardo da Vinci without a frame?
You're like an obvious 18th century dandy moving all of your oil paintings into the room, and they're like, no marking the walls. And you're like, oh, Christ.
Oh shit, are we on Smiffys?
We
Okay.
were, yeah. I have another thing I wanted to talk about, though.
Can we quickly look at the most popular Smiffys, or maybe the newest? What are they introducing this season?
Well,
I always love to see their...
they have the modern trickster, which appears to be the Joker.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Modern trickster.
I love it when they
How
change the name.
many? How many loopholes did they have to go through? They can't say Joker. Can they say Joke Man? They go, no, we can't say Joke Man.
It's too close. It's too close.
Can we say Old Trickster? No.
No.
They have Adult Joker 1966.
Oh, because that's probably out
That's
of
out of copyright.
We love that. Just specify the year.
They also have an evil jester costume for women.
Love that.
Is that Harley Quinn?
Oh, do they have a deceased
Do you know what? This is a great.
puddle?
This is a fun game. Say the costume name, and we have to guess
Deceased
what it is.
puddle.
Okay.
Deceased what?
Puddle.
Puddle.
Are they actually calling it that?
Oh, it's Deadpool.
No, I know, but I was like, are they actually...
No, there's no.
I made that up.
Okay,
we get to it.
That's
amazing.
really good, actually.
Yeah.
That's a good game. Deceased puddle.
There's practical spell witch. Then there's witch. Then there's moon and stars
Practical.
witch.
Wait, hang on. So practical
those
spell witch kind of looks down on witch
Yes,
as like
no,
too airy
I
fairy.
think practical spell witch
is that
what-
Hermione Granger?
I think practical spell witch is something that Coco the gorilla would say.
Yeah.
Asking for her costume.
Well, when Coco the gorilla is trying to get the zookeepers to hire an Etsy witch, because Coco the gorilla feels like they're having a run of bad luck.
Uncle Sam horror patriot.
I mean, it does exactly what
Uncle
it says.
Sam Horror Patriot.
Pumpkin poncho.
Pumpkin poncho. Okay.
Toddler
Wait, is that
pumpkin.
like wearing a big pumpkin like a barrel on straps?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fun.
But is it waterproof? Because that's actually that's effective. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess both the poncho and the pumpkin are native to Mexico, so maybe it's not impossible.
There's horror bunny latex, which appears to be a the movie Donnie Darko, which doesn't seem so recent.
What have we got that's sexy? Wait, is there anything that has sexy in the title?
all of those were sexy.
How aggressive are the copyright lawyers for Donnie Darko? A $3 million budget film from 25 years ago.
Don't
you dare take down Donnie Darko.
They don't have lawyers. The rabbit just comes.
Yes.
So there are a number of licensed ones. There's like Barbie and Ken, Baywatch,
Really?
Cobra Kai, Star Trek and Wars, and Mandalorian, and Top Gun.
Only Fools and Horses, of course.
Only Fools and Horses.
Amazing.
I
Yeah,
imagine
that's-
you want to hear about the Only Fools
Oh,
and
they're
Horses.
good.
I really hope they have
Perfect.
the
Inflatable
full
briefcase.
I want to go. Yeah, I want to go full Boise.
Which one of them has a briefcase? Is that, yeah,
So,
Boise.
but you could only dress up as either Del Boy or a Rodney.
And the Rodney
yeah.
model is going,
Yeah, classic Rodney. Classic Rodney.
it's a shrug for those
I would
listening.
love to dress as Rodney for Halloween.
So
and
let-
I'm scared that people would say, "Why didn't you dress as anything?" No, I'm Rodney.
Only Fools
Oh.
and Horses.
Everyone calling you Dave.
So, what do we have? Number one, so Alasi W. And weirdly, in March 13th of 2023, said excellent costume for the money. So, you know, in Only Fools and Horses Day, where we all dress up as our favorite characters in March from Only Fools and
Oh,
Horses.
it's just like the parents being like, "Oh, it's a nightmare. It's only Fools and Horses Day again." I know it comes around sooner every day. They say, well, it's unreasonable, right? The school, they give you 3 days' notice, and they're like, "Your son's got to come in dressed as Uncle Albert." And I'm like, "Look, I've not got a fucking string vest. What is it, 1978? You know, what am I supposed to? He can't grow a beard. He's 7."
Imagine the school
Not on 3
nurse.
days' notice.
The school nurse on Only Fools and Horses Day. The amount of injuries to elbows trying to fall through the bar. Be a disaster.
They've had to construct a bar.
Would you like to know what's in the Del Boy costume? What's included?
Oh, it's good stuff.
Okay, yeah. Flat cap, I presume.
Yep, there's a hat.
Sort of fur coat.
Cigar?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cigar, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
amazing.
there's a red sort of like turtleneck, and then like a sort of
Gold
sheepskin.
chain that says Dell.
Yeah, a sheepskin jacket.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
nice.
it.
And a
Nice.
necklace, yeah.
I like that.
So it's a beige jacket with print, a top, a hat, and a necklace. Become Del Boy Trotter in this fabulous fancy dress
What I'm
costume,
saying
dry
is-
killing only.
There's no trousers. Bring your own
Yeah,
trousers.
or you could be or you could do
BYOT.
sexy Del Boy.
Oh, yeah. Winnie the Del Boy.
Wear edible underwear. Yeah.
Okay, there's also the Only Fools and Horses Rodney costume is less elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, Rodney didn't really have a look.
Well, it has a camouflage jacket and like a sort of plaid shirt, but that's like a t-shirt that looks like a plaid shirt, and then a wig.
How much is this? If you don't mind?
£8.10
Okay, that one's £8.
Wow.
But Del Boy,
is $42.99.
now that is a difference in
Wow.
price.
Talk about
Yeah.
surge pricing.
Yeah, it just goes, everyone wants to be Del Boy.
Everyone
He's
wants
like the
Del Boy.
Napoleon of Peckham.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. 8-10 for the, because I assumed you could go to most like charity shops and buy a lot of this gear, but 8-10 is actually a decent.
That's cheaper than charity shop price.
That's cheap. Yeah, it's cheaper.
That's only Vietnamese children can do it at that price. Even the Marie Curie shop balks at the kind of margins that Smiffys are operating on.
So they also have a brand called Fever that is for sexy costumes.
Oh, they
Okay,
are sexy
all right.
too.
Can I ask, when did the sexy costume craze begin? And when will it end?
Ireland,
Do you want it to?
approximately 4000 BC.
Oh,
What do you want it to end?
the sexy costume
Yeah.
craze. I'm indifferent towards it. I've never looked at a Halloween costume and thought, what a hot babe. Because it's usually someone like as a bee with blood on them or something.
Sexy Freddy
Wait,
Krueger.
Yeah.
Where's the bee coming from?
The bee is I've seen
But with
bees.
blood.
Yeah,
That's,
with blood.
that's like combining two things.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I'm a
Bee.
murderous bee.
yeah.
Sexy corn.
Sexy corn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
But when
Yeah.
was this? I suppose, when did this come in? Do we have any
When did
idea?
they, like, I can look at Hansard if you want.
When they're talking like George Galloway mentioned it in Parliament.
Yeah. No, it was well before that.
Oh,
It was-
okay, yeah.
It was like, in the Gladstone era.
Okay, honestly, I think it would have to be linked with the rise of fast fashion.
Yeah, it
and
must be,
manufacturing,
right?
just because it's
Yeah.
like fast manufacturing and no, would you agree?
Lo- yeah.
80s.
Yeah, the 80s.
Lord Palmerston enters this house dressed as a sexy cat, but all he's wearing is the ears and a very short dress. Surely the right honourable gentleman cannot be under the impression that this forms the impression of a feline beast, rather than simply the impression of...
Now, Mr. Speaker, I must insist that my honourable friend, Mr. Pitt the Younger, has decided to dressing as a plague doctor, but is only wearing the beaked mask and otherwise a leather bikini outfit.
plague doctor in the buff.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey.
There's a Hindu idea.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Sexy nun, that's a big one I see a lot.
Sexy nun is sexy.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Is it sexy?
Sexy
nun.
nun.
How
It's
do
like
you
sexy
do
pretty.
sexy nun?
Yeah.
Is there like a cutout for the
Well,
ass?
also, it
Like-
would have been done at the same time as Gladstone and Palmer, but it would have been like anti-Catholic.
Yeah, it would have
Primarily.
been. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so there's
yeah.
two routes to sexy. Thank you so much for asking. There is the sort of show more skin, right? So
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
like make it really, really short, and you see all legs, or like make it sleeveless. You see arms, or like decolletage.
Oh, arms.
Or you see
Oh,
full
look at
arm.
this, boys. You can see her arm.
Full arm on a nun. Come on now. And then,
Entire building site of men turning around to a woman who's normally dressed but just sleeveless. And they're like, awooga.
and then the second is make it more form fitting. So a nun
Okay, yeah.
usually wears something quite baggy, right?
Mhm.
Whereas
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
do like a skin tight
Because
nun, like a
nuns
latex
are very on
nun.
trend. Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
actually they're
Yeah.
going sort of baggier and more shapeless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
like
If you see
like a
someone
Rick
wearing
Owens nun.
jinkos, they're probably a nun.
It's a nun. But like a form fitting nun, like imagine like a latex skin tight thing.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
might not be seeing skin, but it's skin tight.
I feel like there are male equivalent. Like I remember there was a few years there where every guy went as like Heath Ledger's Joker, and
Yeah.
they were thinking, you know. So
Sure,
I feel like it's not as
Sorry,
obvious.
They
It's
went
more
as
stealthy.
They went as modern terror clown.
They went as
actually.
modern terror clown.
Okay,
or whatever.
wait,
But do you know what I
wait.
mean? There are.
Yeah, yeah,
there
I know
must be
exactly what you're talking
and like
about.
I think Jack. There's always a. Well, there was like a. What's the guy? Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I just want to go.
Guys do feel sexy.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like either of these things are sexy.
No. I
I
do
mean, I
think
find pirates or terrorists sexy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
You.
terrorists, yes.
What about your John Mayer costume?
John,
Did you dress up as John Mayer?
No, I did not dress up as John Mayer.
Is that how you
What would
pronounce
that
John
be?
Major?
A guitar? Like you just sort of do yourself a quiff and have a guitar? Would
yeah,
that be
sort
the-
of like have kind of shortish hair, a guitar, and like a normal shirt.
And you do that
Or you
kind of
leave the
like
guitar
weird
even,
jaw thing
Because
that
like
he does?
when he goes around his day, he's not carrying a guitar.
Oh, I think he often is.
Uh-huh.
He's one of those guys, doesn't put it down, you know?
Uh-huh.
What's the sexy guy costume for this year? Do we think? Who's like the sexy pop culture?
Keir Starmer.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sexy Starmer. You're just wearing like cuffs and tie.
Yeah, yeah.
but not bow tie, like long, like red tie, but just like no shirt.
He's
Yep,
cutting. He's cutting his trousers. He's cutting the deficit. I mean, that works. Send
That's
it to Smiffys. Yeah.
That's the only outfit Keir Starmer can
they
afford
can't
now that
call it
Lord
Keir-
Ali is not buying his clothes.
They can't call it the Keir Starmer outfit. They have to call it the continuity prime minister.
Yeah. Centrist prime minister outfit.
Uh-huh.
Centre left former lawyer, modern.
All right. So sadly, I do have to report that one of the biggest movies this year was Deadpool and Wolverine. So the obvious answer to that is those two.
That's what I figured. Wolverine, because Wolverine, if you've got guns, the Wolverine's very gun heavy, isn't it?
But because Deadpool is basically just a gimp suit.
Yeah.
Like that's it's sexy, but in a very niche. Like you've got to be in a very particular kind of fetish club for that to get interpreted as sexy.
But I think if you really want to be sexy, the sandworm from Dune.
Yeah, big time. Big time.
We're just like, am I crazy? I just want him to kind of devour me. Like, is that crazy?
Or a very certain kind of parent-teacher conference, he said, teeing you up for a story.
That was such a great head turn. It was you and Sean in perfect sync. It was like we staged it. Okay, so a friend of mine told me this story the other night. He lives in the States. Him and his wife, they have young children. They went to a party at the house of some other parents from their kids' school, and they invited like kind of all the parents of the kids in their year, and they invited their two of the kids' teachers.
To me, already this is insane.
Okay, wait, say that again?
Yeah, so basically, my friend and his wife, they have some youngish children.
Yeah.
They got invited to a party at the house of some other parents from their kids' school.
Right.
And all the other parents were there, or most of the other parents from like their age kids, whatever, at the school. But also a couple of the teachers were there.
Psycho.
Yeah, insane. Would never happen in this country.
How old are the kids, sorry?
Well, I think the kids are about like 8.
But the kids aren't here. The kids are like with a babysitter.
Yeah. So the kids aren't there.
That is crucial information that you do need to know.
Yeah. It's very much,
So it's primary school teacher, elementary school teacher, as opposed to like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he used the words first grade teacher. So anyway, so the teacher or two teachers are there, and then my friend said that he left with his wife at a certain point, because he felt like the vibe was getting a bit weird. And then he found out subsequently from someone else that almost immediately after they left, the other parents all started doing cocaine and like wife swapping.
And the teachers were still there.
Apparently the teachers did not join in.
But why would you stay?
I don't swing, but the nibbles. This like cheese and pineapple on a stick I'm hooked.
Who the fuck are these people? Kramer?
Oh, yeah. The swingers parties have the best nibbles. No one ever eats them.
Yeah, this is baffling. To stay.
Yeah, it's the staying that's the red flag.
To stay when the swinging happens and be like, oh no, none for me, but I will chill.
None for me. I'm teaching your children tomorrow.
Yeah. And then the next day you look at the kid and you're just like, Jenny, why don't you come up to the board and solve the math problem?
Also, your dad isn't who you think he is.
Also, I've seen your dad's butthole.
It's weird. It's
I don't know what you're
weird.
laughing about, James. Your dad was rimming it.
Just like
no, an American boy that age would never be called James. He'd be called like Branley or something. Brandon.
Bradley.
Yeah,
named after the president.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. What an odd thing, right?
I hate it. I'm sorry, I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm such a square. People assume that I'm kinky, but I'm not. I'm horny. I talk a lot about sex, but
to be fair, that's not really kinky. It's more horny.
No, I think horny is just I want to have regular sex all the time, whereas kinky is like
I want to have so much sex with one guy.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm not horny, but I am. I don't want to have regular. I don't want to have sex all the time. Yeah, I want every 4 months to literally have like a goldfish put inside me. That's how I do it.
Victory!
I was at a petrol station recently and they were selling.
All right, show off.
And they were selling.
I'm show off. You're talking about your friends in America.
He's taking.
I've got a friend whose kids could get into school. All right, big shot.
And they're selling a petrol slushie for the car.
But they were selling slush puppies in a can.
What? Wait, but how does the texture remain icy inside the can?
I don't know.
Also, how do you get it out? Do you have to just shake it into your face?
The whole top of
There's
the
a
can
good chance it's just the goo.
Uh-huh.
But even that, if people are just drinking
you're
that.
just drinking the goo.
But the goo is the prize. The goo is the prize.
No, but isn't the texture of the goo crucial to making it a slush puppy, not a regular puppy.
You could buy a can of the goo,
Yeah.
and you could buy a big bunch of ice, and either you can make a
That's
very
just
service.
over ice, or are you blending it after?
You
You just crush it up.
You could do goo on the rocks,
goo on the rocks.
or you could do goo straight up.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
The problem with slush puppies is
Finally,
you get
someone said
no.
it.
I'm glad I got this for him.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
My whole fucking life, they go like, oh yeah, if you want them, you have to have them in this cup. They have to be done this way. I'm sorry, it's 2024.
You think that
Yeah.
there's
What if
too
you want
much?
goo on the rocks?
You think there's too much protectionism in the slush puppy market?
100%.
You think the problem is it's a little bit like they've captured the Eurocrats in Brussels, and now like you're not allowed to call something a slushy unless it meets very specific
Because
criteria.
you're European health
So
and
you're creating
safety.
the
You can't have
Prosecco
goo on
of
the
slush
rocks.
puppies.
I want to make the exactly. Yeah.
You want to do like adult terror clown contemporary, but for slush puppies.
I don't want to do. It. I want to help. I'm helping slush puppy. I'm saying, look, keep it official. Open up your brand.
Yeah.
Open up your
You
brand.
want to be a slush puppy affiliate.
Hard-boiled detective going straight from the crime scene to a bar, loosening his tie and going, one goo on the rocks.
I'll have a blue goo. Leave the bottle.
Got any blue raz?
I
Because the
think
thing is, then we're transitioning
Like,
from a
it's so-
summer drink to a hot winter drink. Maybe
mold goo.
Mold goo.
You could do
sit
like a
by the fire while I'm
mold
sipping
puppy.
mold goo.
Mold slush puppy.
you
Exactly.
would do a
Yeah.
goo.
And then how are you getting the texture? Like rolled oats? Like what are you putting into it to give it that
exactly.
kind of
Sort of
fuel, like,
autumnal
Like
kind
a-
of
like a
yeah.
tapioca.
There's like a
Congee.
stick of
What
cinnamon
about like
in
a
it.
tapioca
Yeah.
ball?
Congee.